see, it's important to have the camera at your height, not looking up, not looking down. You on drugs? Daniel, you're smoking the pots, aren't you? Is that what's going on, Daniel? You're on the pots, aren't you? I knew it. Shouldn't have let you hang out with those kids. Ooh, it's just can't wait for summer, but then I'll be like, I can't wait for fall. I'm a fall, spring kind of guy. I'm not a winter, summer kind of guy. It's just freezing. Where is that draft coming from? Oh, that was stupid to have the handle up high like that. Burnett! Okay, watch out. Watch out. Watch out. You know, maybe not the best camera angle. This might work. A little crooked. Hey, hi. Hey, hi. I don't know what this video is going to be about. You know, there might be some like future rambling videos because I'm just out of content. I'm contentless. It's going to be a few months until I'm not contentless. Bear with me. I'd rather give you something than nothing. My channel's suffering because I got nothing. So if you've been following along on this journey, you know that I've been making my my kitchen cabinets. I made some raised panels, but these aren't raised. I ended up going with a flat panel inside here. And then these are all joined together with, I don't know if that's, what's that called, a mortise and tenon? It's jointed into that, like that. And they're strong, they're good. A little dusty, eh? So pretty much all these door frames are going inside metal frames, like this right here. There's a metal frame. So when I was first planning my kitchen cabinet ideas, I wasn't planning on making a cabinet like this. Now, looking back on it, I should have tried to make one of these because they weren't that easy. It was a lot of time to make them, a lot of router work, but they came out pretty decent, and I could have thrown some hinges on these things. They would have ended up just fine. The whole reason I was going with the metal frame is because I was just going to put some like wood inside there, like that the walnut that was originally in there. But I realized I didn't like that, and so I decided to tackle this project. I could have just done the wood, and it would have been a lot lighter, because this ends up making it like double, triple the weight. So I've already sanded these and got these all good, but I did give a little wiggle room inside here. Can you hear it? There's a little wiggle room for expansion and contraction. I don't think I'm going to have more than a 1/16 of an inch, so I know a couple of you guys were concerned about that, but I think it'll be fine. This one's a little snug, but it's all right. One of my longtime subscribers, Craig. Can I say your last name, Catherine? I won't say your last name. He's been asking me a lot about, like, how is this panel connecting to this? If you look on the back here, see that piece of, like, flat bar right here? This thing right here? This overhangs the edge right here, and there's holes drilled into it so I can put screws in from the inside of the cabinet. So this goes inside there, and then I put a screw here, and it catches into that. As far as the movable kitchen rack, which you probably can't see, but it's in the back there, there's those metal straps on the top of it to connect it in. Then the shelves have pocket holes in them to kind of tie it all in together. So once it's all screwed together, it's not going to move or anything. And it's cold outside. I don't care. But you can see most of them are right here, right there. All these right here, all ready to go to get paint. I might have to do a little more sanding because some of them are still a little too tight, but they're ready to go. Got to clean them, got to paint the metal, paint the wood, give it that rustic look that I'm going for. This, I think I've decided I'm not going to go with the red underneath it. I felt like it bleeded too much, but I think just the two colors will be simple and it'll work for my my liking. I might as well get a little drunk. So I bought all the outside frame, the oak that I'm using. I bought it from big box store, Home Depot and Lowe's. It's not perfect. There was, you know, some crowns in it, not crowns, but bows in the boards, some kinks in the boards. They weren't perfect boards. And so when I ran them through the router table, I didn't get a perfect, you know, all of this profile that I put into it, the groove to accept that panel inside isn't perfect up and down. It moves, you know, it could move about a 1/16 of an inch. When I made my groove that goes inside that, sometimes they don't match up perfectly. So, I mean, this is good here, but some of them aren't perfect. I would say like a 1/16 to a 32nd off. I could use an orbital sander and just knock this down, but I notice orbital sanders tend to work a little slow And so you end up staying in the same spot, and you end up putting it in a little freaking, like a bowl in your work, because you're like just trying to get that one spot. So I thought about using the belt sander, but if you've ever used a belt sanders are probably the most dangerous tools to wood ever. Like, they'll do a lot of damage in a really quick amount of time. So I didn't want to use that. One of my subscribers reached out to me and said, was saying something about my videos and said to check out his channel. So I went over to his channel, checked it out. It is 1806 Stone House. It's him and his wife and kids bought a 200-year-old stone, like an old ass house, and they're remodeling the whole thing from scratch. Pretty cool channel if you want to check it out. He's got decent videos on it. So he was refinishing all the beams in the house, all the exposed beams that are up on the ceiling, and he was using a belt sander, but then he also was using this thing right here. This is the DeWalt tool. This is what? DWE 6401DS. But he was using this to clean all the beams off, to sand them down. I've always seen this at the big box store, and I know if you guys ever look in the tool corrals that you've seen this thing, and I'd never seen it. Like, I was scared of it because I'm like, what is it? Why huh? I'm confused. Well, that's because you're sober. But I was watching him use it, and I was really impressed with how well it worked. I would say it is like a belt sander with the speed of removing stuff, with the gentleness of an orbital sander. And even though that's not like really gentle, but I thought it was pretty cool. And it was only like $89 before taxes and all that stuff, so just under $100 out the door. And since I kind of have like a small tool addiction, I mean, I like to buy tools. Nothing over like $200, because that's kind of like, whoa now, Nelly, slow down. We're not rich, okay? You know, I'll spend $100, $200 on a tool. I figured I would give this a try to smooth out all these joints that aren't perfectly lined up. Making sense? I think I am. Like I said, this thing is going to spin a lot faster than an orbital sander. Ready? Dusty like a mofo. It does have a thing where you could hook a vacuum up to it. Didn't come with a thing, though. Maybe would have been a good idea, DeWalt, but probably not, because it kicks out a lot of dust. Oh, I know why they didn't put it, because it needs suction, because it's spinning too fast. Gotta hook suction up to it. But the key with this tool is just to move. Don't stop. Don't stand in one spot. And I'm just fucking moving. There's a speed adjustment on here, so if you want it to go slower, you can go slower. I like faster. Not all my joints were perfect, so I put a little wood filler on them. These are going to be painted, so wood filler is going to be all right. I know they make stainable wood fillers, but I'm totally against that. If you need wood filler on something you're staining, you probably shouldn't have stained it. You probably shouldn't have made it. I used plastic wood. Don't know what that is. All-purpose wood filler. It was the only option at the local hardware store. Seems to be holding up good. Only time will tell. So this tool just takes the regular 8-hole, 5-inch sanding pads, the Velcro on the back, sticking something stick. So I'm just gonna line them holes up. I gotta make one of them tools that I don't know why I talk sometimes. But I'm just using 150 grit, slight. It's not gonna be like too aggressive. This thing is so aggressive. The tool itself is so aggressive that just using a 150 is good. Plus it gives me a good finish to throw paint down on. So I found that you kind of have to like hold this thing weird. You gotta have to put force down like this. You have to put your fingers down onto that, so you're getting a force straight down onto the pad. These two handles don't really work the way you would want them to, but it's all right. It's a little awkward to hold, but once you get it locked in, get a good hold on it, you can keep it kind of flat. It does sometimes do a little like death shake on you. Just let off your pressure and then come back down straight and flat. But it does a lot of work really quickly. I've always liked orbital sanders, but they're just a little too slow for me, and I end up with, you know, rounded edges. Like if I were to sand this 2-inch piece, it would end up rounding the whole thing over. So this thing just does a quick job smoothing these out, making this paintable ready. Words are good. But overall, I really do like this tool. So 1806 Stonehouse. Thank you so much for that that little link or whatever that I watched there. Appreciate it. So I just want to touch on a couple things that people have talked about in the last few videos. Somebody said when I was gluing these up not to glue the panel in, or just to glue one side and then use silicone, or just use silicone. There was all these different recommendations. I did end up gluing one side of it, and then I siliconed the other two sides so that it will allow it to expand and contract a little bit. The silicone will be a little bit more forgiving than the glue, but then it also holds it in place so that when I paint it, it's not going to cause too many problems. I don't think, at least. If these things end up expanding a lot because it's winter right now, ooh, I messed up. Whatever, I'll redo the whole thing again. What up? Sometimes the ends of these aren't perfect, so I normally just take it to the chop saw or something. I mean, normally they're smaller, so I can use the chop saw. This one's going to be kind of a pain. But I just take that and clean this up. And also, these were made a little bit bigger. They were really tight when I put them into those frames. Use those frames to glue this up. I put it in there and put glue in, put it in, and it clamped it all together. But that also ended up making these not absolutely perfect. So I'm just going to trim this off. I had tried belt sanding it, but again, belt sanders, disasters. Worst tool unless it's a stationary unit and you put the wood to it. So I spent a lot of time out in my shop. I would say it's maybe 30% working and then 70% hanging out, watching YouTube, drinking, just enjoying this whole project that I've been working on. This is a massive project. I've been working on it over 3 years now. I always told the contractors that I was working for when I was framing professionally that when it became a job and I stopped learning things, that I was going to quit. And it got to that point after about 10, 11 years. So, you know, I changed careers and got out of the field. But I always liked doing this kind of stuff, and this is just a hobby for me. So if things take forever to do, it's not a big deal. I'd rather enjoy the whole process and enjoy making things than it feel like a job. So that's one reason the project's taken so long. It's just I'm having fun with it. It's not a business, even though I write off on taxes that it's a business, because that helps me get a better return on my taxes, because I spend money and I want to sell it. So if it's a loss this year and the next year and the previous years, one day it won't be a loss and I'll pay a lot of taxes. Anyways, well, like I was saying, I watch a lot of YouTube, and there's one channel that I found recently that I absolutely freaking love. He's only been making videos, him and his wife have only been making videos for about a year now, but he's got a good database of videos that you can watch through, and he's just starting out, and I think it's really cool. But let me tell you, what is it called?
On our Wyoming life.
Yeah! But I do really like the channel. You guys should check it out. I'll leave a link to 1806 Stonehouse as well as Our Wyoming Life down in the description below. One thing I really like about Our Wyoming Life is that him and his wife were in the radio business prior to getting this ranch that they kind of inherited. I don't know how the whole story, I mean, her stepdad passed away and left it to her mom, and then they moved on to the farm to take care of it. And it's an extremely large ranch. Like he doesn't ever really officially say, but I think it's like 7,000 acres in Wyoming, and it's not a dairy farm, a cattle farm. And he just takes you through his days, and he's very well spoken, great edits on his videos. Everything that he does is cool, and I think the best part is it wasn't what he grew up doing, kind of. You got to watch his videos, but it wasn't what he was set out to do in life. And so it's good to watch him do it, because he makes those mistakes and he does things a little differently than somebody that knows what they're doing. I'm not saying what he does is wrong. I just think it's cool to watch him, because it's more interesting seeing somebody work through a project that they're not really sure about, or I'm shit talking on him. I think he's great. I don't know what I'm saying. Go check his channel out. Don't ask him if you can get a job. He'll say no. I would work for him for free. Except for it's really cold and windy in Wyoming. I don't think so. I'm not going any north of where I'm at.
We need grass, and a lot of it. And it's not cheap.
Go to Colorado.
So we bought a bunch. About 400 tons of the stuff.
You're kidding me. Yeah, I never thought you could buy tons of grass. Please, I want to see some
Grass hay or pasture hay.
beautiful.
It's from right here on the ranch. We have a few hundred
orangey
acres set aside that's
wonderfulness.
just for growing hay. It's made of crested wheatgrass, alfalfa, and other native grasses.
Listen, we
Our
are not
pasture
talking
hay
about the right
tests about
grass.
8% protein.
Peanut, what did you do the other day?
Oh, I did some nasty ass shit.
I left my seat up on my toilet, on my composting toilet the other day.
Oh, yeah, that was some good shit.
Peanut, that is disgusting. I am so disappointed in you. Disappointed.
Whatever, man. That was good shit, man. I'm telling you, I'll eat that shit all day.
Ew, you're gross. You're living outside now.
No, you can't do that. It's too cold. Animal cruelties.
Oh, watch me, Peanut. But anyways, guys, go check out those channels. Check out this tool. I mean, it's not as bad as you would think. I thought it was a little too aggressive, but no. Worked out great. I'm just going to continue working on this project. I think maybe next week I'm going to tell you guys about my big surprise, maybe. Not really. I don't know. So I'm going to just keep working on these projects. I got to finish sanding these. I'm probably going to throw some paint down on them. Some brown chocolate rain. General Finishes. Give them another shout out. Why don't you? Boom. Just one big commercial. Well, that's all right by me. Lincoln Electric. Hey, message Lincoln Electric and tell them to hook me up because I need 2 of their tools to do my next project, and I don't have $2,500. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. As always, leave your great knowledge down below, and I will see you on the next video. Oh my gosh, where did that come from?